Well, Holger, you're ranked 8 in the world, you're still only 19. I think you're 14-7 for the year, but does it still feel like the tennis world and the media are expecting great things from you everywhere you go?
It's starting, people are starting to expect more and more, but, most of all, I have, high ambitions within myself, and, I follow them more, and I think that's the most important thing. But for sure, you just gotta, try to improve as much as you can every day, because if you think about winning or losing too much, it's going to distract your mindset and maybe put your improvements a little bit on pause instead of just going forward.
I guess things have happened so quickly for you and such a high level that it's almost become normal straight away. Is that a factor too?
I wouldn't say it's normal. I mean, if you ask me, I feel it's going slow, but on the paper it's going very fast. I'm still only 19, and won my biggest title in Paris was great, but still I look forward now. I can only use the parts from experience and memory, so I gotta look forward and see what I can improve and do better.
It's your third visit to the Monte-Carlo Country Club. If you take away matches against Casper, how much do you enjoy playing here, and do the conditions suit your game?
Yeah, it's a great event. I really enjoyed it. I actually live here in Monaco, so it kind of feels like home in a way. But yeah, I enjoy the tournament. The clay is amazing. The tournament is very special. We're amazing view by the water. It's very unique compared to other tournaments, and I enjoy it a lot.
As you say, you live here. How does that sort of change things? It must feel nice to be able to sleep in your own bed, for example.
Exactly, it feels different, as you say, sleep in your own bed, and just the way you come back home after a practice day or a match day, and you feel at home. It's not like hotel and you wake up, there's breakfast, you say your room number, stuff like this. It's very chill, it feels like home, and it's very cozy.
You've got an 18-18 record on clay. Explain a bit what your background's like in Denmark and how much experience you have on this surface as a junior. Yeah, okay. Clay.
I thought it was better actually. We'll try to make it better.
Just talk about your background in Denmark. How much experience did you have on this surface as a junior?
A lot of experience. I played on clay so much during my junior career, and actually I always enjoyed it. I won Junior Roland Garros on clay, and I won my first future title there. So it's always been kind of a breakthrough surface for me. Enjoyed it a lot. I think the whole game changed a little bit on clay. You have to build up the points, and it's longer points. If you have weapons, you cannot just hit a big shot and expect to win it on that one. You have to build, and this is what I think is quite funny.
How difficult as well then, taking that into consideration, is it when you've just done that whole month in Indian Wells and Miami? How difficult is it to make the switch, and how sort of long does it take normally?
Depends. If you play third round like I did in Miami, you have plenty of time. But if you go all the way, I think it's a bit stressful. But for me, it's okay. Normally, during preparation, you use maybe 2 weeks, to get used to the clay. And of course, the first tournament is for everybody going to be a bit tricky because it's different and stuff. But for me, I enjoy it. I really like it. It's a part of my favorite season, this clay season.
You mentioned that sort of tactical approach and how different it is on the clay, but explain for us a bit about the sort of physicality of why it's different and in terms of your movements and the way you move around the court.
It's very physical as well, and you move different. You have to move more in like V's, I call it, more back and forward, because the ball doesn't bounce the same every time. So you have to be ready to adjust, and you have to be ready to mix the game up, because, as I said, the bounce is different. So you can actually be more creative, and it's very effective to be creative on the surface.
So taking all that into account, you've obviously feeling confident, and you've had success certainly in France recently as well, haven't you? But how confident are you feeling coming into this week? Again, it's a very, very tough draw, isn't it?
It is a very tough draw. We have almost all the best players in the world. First seeded Novak, #1 in the world, so it's definitely a tough draw. But this is also what it makes it nice and interesting. I just got to take one match at a time, because first match is going to be tough. So I have to be 100% ready for that. I have a few days to prepare, and then just look for that one.
Finally, with Rafa slipping outside the top 10, just looking at that top 10 now, it's the youngest average age in that top 10 for I think a decade. You're obviously a big part of that as well, but what do you think that says about the tour, having that sort of youthfulness in that top 10 now?
I think it's great. I mean, we're getting a lot of new young faces up in the ranking, and I think it's interesting, of course, because I'm one of them. But we have obviously Novak, and if Rafa was playing, he would probably be there. So it's for sure interesting and more open, I would say, now than it was back in the days. But again, everybody is playing amazing. Even guys from top 15 could be, you know, in top 10. So, you know, you have to be sharp all the time to be there, and not just to be there, but try to move up.